Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Apostolic Children's Ministry Podcast. We are going to emulate a style of podcast that I just heard from Apostolic Children's Network. I think that's the name of it, from Brother Chris Bradshaw. They did a 2024 recap, and I thought that is a great idea. So, Brother Bradshaw, this is a unapologetic ripoff of your idea because it's a very, I just love how they went through the year and kind of hit the highlights and talked about the neat things that had happened throughout the year. And I thought that, we're going to do that too. So thank you. And let's, before we begin, I guess we should talk about those other new podcasts because they're exciting.
Yes.
We just mentioned Brother Bradshaw's Apostolic Children's Network. Is that right, guys?
That's right.
I think so, yeah.
Spotify, I think it's on Apple Music as well. Pretty much any podcast platform. Brother Eric Stender came out with one, Sunday School Minute.
Yes.
And that's more for Sunday school leaders. And then there is James Pelletier, just came out with one called Truism. And all of these guys are just incredible people in children's ministry. And we are excited to hear from them regularly.
Yes.
Hopefully more regularly than we are. And of course, if you haven't already tapped into Gabe Baker's podcast, Kidman Backstage, he is the most consistent podcaster I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So huge props to you, Brother Baker. I know we give you a hard time for making us feel bad, but you're doing exactly what you should be doing, and we just need to do what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
Yeah. Another good one was Brother Ashley's.
Yep, Brother Ashley, growing up with Papaw. He always has some great information. All of these people are phenomenal, and all of them, for the most part, are involved in the curriculum project too. Brother Stender, Brother Ashley, and Brother Pelletier. So that's exciting. We're glad to hear from all of them. But we're going to go through the year, the schedule from 2024, just hit some highlights, talk about what God has done over the year, and just kind of work our way through it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the first of the year, Trystan just brought this up. That was when our Sunday school classes were first split. It sounded like, because I was just reading about the Tower of Babel. That was the days in which the land was divided. But yeah, so January 1st of last year, our super class was getting just ridiculously large.
From ages 5 to 11 is a lot of kids.
And so we had over 150 kids in one room, and so we split out. This is not because we thought this was the perfect split. It's to fit our classes. So we had two rooms that just happened to fit 20 people each. And so we split off we actually counted to see what would fit. But our 10 and 11 boys just happened to be around that number. Our 10 and 11 girls just happened to be around that number. So we split them off into their own classes.
But I think it did help because you can use different teaching styles that, like the 10 to 11 definitely learns different than a 5 to 9-year-old does.
No, and in large age ranges do cause some issues, such as even in our Holy Ghost rallies, and we have our toddlers even in there. So that's 2 to 4 years old, up to our college and career sometimes, but usually up to our youth age, which is up to 18.
So from 2 to 17, 18?
18. So imagine any concept in the entire world that could span that gap. I can't think of any of them. There's no one thing that would reach both. So you're constantly either shifting back and forth and losing the other. And so this year, I know we're not talking about this year, but this year we have split it from 2 to 11, and then the second one from 12 to 18 on alternate months. So, splitting classes turned out to be a great thing for us, and that's how we've kept it. And I can't see us undoing that.
No, it's good. I did the Sunday school for the bigger kids or the older kids, and it's awesome. I love it.
Well, we've all been rotating between those classes. Lately, we haven't. Well, because we got the curriculum.
Yeah.
And we actually have characters that are in the curriculum that are locked in.
But
so
even
we
without
can't
it,
move people around.
Even without it, I feel like it's kind of cool, good to have some consistency in the older classes. They always know who their teacher is. They know who's going to be there, and so it kind of helps. And also, it makes themes easier because you always know, okay, we can plan ahead for 2-3 months in advance, and I know who's going to be in here.
Yeah. So that worked out well. And then in January also, we had our first ever children's ministry service at the SCC conference.
It was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
So for those that don't know, the SCC is the Southern California Commission. It's a group of churches all the way from Chula Vista, where Brother Buxton pastors, all the way even up as north as Bakersfield. Bakersfield Church isn't part of it, but Lakeside is. So that's a huge range. It's probably a 4-hour drive from one end to the other. But there's about, 12 churches in that
Some
commission. And so we get together for junior camps. And this particular conference has about, last year there was about 1,300 people here, or 1,200 and some change.
Yeah.
That
And
is so many.
Huge.
About 300 of those, or 200 plus, were in the children's service. And for those that don't know, if you haven't been in our church, that building doesn't fit that many people. So we hadn't had our children's service. I don't know what we would have done. We would have been in trouble. And Brother Julian just walked in the room. Brother Julian, God bless you, my brother.
Changing out the hand sanitizer.
Would you like to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everyone. You were doing a recap, right, last year? Yes. Can I just say something? Yeah. It was awesome. 2024 was awesome. 2025 is going to be so much better. So I would love to sit and talk, but I got some stuff to do. So happy for everyone that's listening. And guys, if you're not involved in children's ministry, you're on the fence, join. This is the year. It's going to be revival this year.
If you're waiting for a sign, that was it.
That's right.
All right. Of course, if you're waiting for a sign by listening to a children's ministry podcast, what do you expect? You're probably going to get
should have already been there.
Yeah. But so that children's ministry, that children's service at SEC was our first one. And it was kind of dipping our toe into it, but we did it. We did it pretty big. We took a lot of the inspiration from Kingdom Kids, from Summit. We built the castle.
No.
And we really put a lot of time and energy into the props, with the understanding that we were going to reuse those for our children's service, which comes up about 2 weeks after the SEC conference.
Which was really cool.
Worked out well.
It was nice.
So on that SEC service, first time we were just kind of talking about it. It felt like there were some things that went really, really well, and some things that just got a little chaotic. We were trying to figure out what the differences were between Kingdom Kids and that service, because it's a lot of similarities. Mostly church kids, mostly people that are already coming. A lot of the kids already have the Holy Ghost. We don't have any bus kids really, and so it's an interesting dynamic that it felt more chaotic here than it did at Kingdom Kids for some.
A little bit.
I think the main thing is just space. That we, even in Kingdom Kids, there's a lot of front space, there's a lot of side space, there's a lot of aisle space, and even within the rows, not every seat is filled. This one, there was so many kids, so many helpers.
Part of it, too, and I think it's kids know what to expect when they get to Kingdom Kids.
Right.
They've done it for so many years, and if they haven't been to it, they've heard about it, or their older siblings have gone.
They just kind of follow the crowd.
Yeah, and so they know the format and they know how it flows. And this one was brand new to many of these kids. They had never been to one, and so hopefully this year we'll do better.
Yes,
Yeah.
They'll also be a little bit more accustomed to it.
Yeah, the one thing you definitely mentioned was the crowns at the beginning. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, so we gave all the kids these paper crowns and let them decorate it and put stickers and markers and all that stuff.
I've never seen so much sticker paper and markers
why. They just
thrown
were
everywhere.
savages.
It was down the aisles. There was stuff everywhere.
Yeah, it felt very chaotic. I don't know why, but then once we got started, it was fine. But I think we can tweak some things to make it even better. But let's go to February. And that's where we took
Kids
our
Revival.
props and put them in the big sanctuary here.
Yes.
And made the castle. But that one was cool because in our Spanish sanctuary where we had it set up for the SCC conference, that castle filled the room.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of just took over that stage.
Right.
Because it's huge.
Yeah.
It was 40 feet wide.
40 feet-ish.
16
It
feet
literally
tall.
went almost completely across, except for two little curtains.
It's pretty big. And then even to the left of it, remember we built the eagle lair? And so it filled the whole thing. Well, we did the same setup in the main sanctuary, and it was a fourth of the stage.
Yeah, there was so much. There was side space. There was even on the smaller side, there was still a big gap.
But we knew that. We knew that. And so we didn't want to make it all about the castle. We wanted to make it more of a Pilgrim's Progress style story.
I think honestly what's the word?
Props?
Yeah, the props this year or last year for the kids revival was my favorite by far.
It was cool because we did a forest, and I didn't know how so the right-hand side was the forest that the traveler is traveling through and meeting people and encountering different obstacles, and they're trying to get to the king, they're trying to get to the castle, they're trying to get to that fabled gate.
Yeah.
And then they finally get there, and it needs keys, and they have to go find the keys, which are the plan of salvation, the 3 keys. And so it was a really fun concept, but we had to build this forest, and we just didn't know how it was going to turn out. We've done different variations, and basically our ceiling is an open ceiling, so we have the open metal beams. And so I was able to tie in these really, really long 2x4s, but actually I had to connect 2 together. And I think it's 24 feet or something from the platform to the beam. And so I rigged up a long 2x4, and then on that, using my CNC, we cut out some really cool, creepy
It was really cool. I really liked it.
They had eyes and these branch arms. And then to those, we put real branches kind of screwed in from the back, and so it fleshed it out. But then my wife had the bright idea of putting like candle eyes.
Yes, it was.
Made it even better.
It honestly looked so cool. It was cool. Like I said, it was one of my favorite props we've ever done for a kids revival.
Came out really cool.
And it was really good how we contrasted the I don't want to say dark, but like it was
the dark forest.
Like black light.
the black
Yeah,
light.
behind the trees.
Yeah, kind of
Back of the trees. And then even the gate was really cool. It was a gate on like it was like a 2x4 sticking out of a cinder block, but it was so cool.
You painted gold.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything was cool.
The
Everything was
giant
good.
lock on it. It was great.
Yeah. So that was a pretty neat event.
Yes.
And we typically do that from a Friday to a Sunday. And we used to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 different services. But we went to a Friday, Sunday morning only, I believe, because we just found that third service was really tough to make all 3 top notch.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing just a Friday, Sunday morning. That's what we're doing this year as well.
Yeah, I think even if we went back to the 3, having a speaker come and do the Sunday morning kind of takes the load off of us, because last year it was Brother Hodge that did it. He did the morning service on Sunday. And so I think even if we did go back to doing the 2, we could do the 2 and then let him have full control of the last one, and then I think that would take a big load off us, and we could focus on making the 2 nights, really.
And then for anybody who doesn't know what that is, like for when we do our kids revival, it's in our main sanctuary, and that's where we.
Oh yeah, and like all the parents.
all the
everyone.
parents and just regular church, and
Yeah, we have our Sunday morning service.
And I'm sure everybody does this. It seems like most churches that have a good children's ministry do like a once a year thing in front of the whole church. And that does a couple of things. It doesn't just make the kids feel like they're really important, which it does. They're like, wow, we're in the big room, we're taking it over. It's all about us today. And it makes them feel really good. But it also shows the church, hey, this pastor's behind this thing. We believe in children's ministry, and it shows the church this is what the children's ministry does behind those closed doors.
Right.
Because we have we're in California, so we have a lot of stuff we have to do. Like we have locked checkpoints. Like you're not supposed to get in unless you have a background check and all this stuff. And so a lot of parents have probably never been in those classrooms while we're actively having class. Some of them may drop their kids off and leave, but as far as seeing the day-to-day stuff, they just don't know. And so I know that's not, I guess, super typical of a standard day, but it's it's the same stuff, just kind of on a little bit higher bar. But it's a neat event.
And was last year the year that they sang "In Jesus' Name" on Sunday morning, and the kids rushed the stage?
That was 2 years ago. That was the water thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just think that was really cool too. Like even though it didn't happen.
Brother
this year,
Avila didn't know what he was asking for, though.
They sang "In Jesus' Name," and of course
He reached out to me before. He said, "Hey, I hear the kids really enjoy this song. In Jesus' name, should we sing it for the kids?" Because they did a couple worship songs for adult worship songs before the kids service take over. Part of that was to, let's just say, to burn time for the people that are always late. The people that don't realize that Sunday starts at 10.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we sing a couple of those. Well, Brother Avila is up there, and he said, "Hey, kids, why don't you sing it with me?" I think he thought,
like
where
sing
you're
it from
standing.
there.
Yeah.
The kids did not do that. They rushed the platform, and
How many kids were on the platform?
over
200?
No, yeah, a lot.
There
There's
was
a lot. 150 kids.
all the kids sitting in the
joined
front, like
in.
4 rows, were
fun.
standing on the stairs, on the stage. They were crowded around an altar.
But it could have been a problem like, oh no, they just messed things. No, it
It
made the
was
day.
amazing. It was
so
really good.
Yeah, so now we're recapping 2023.
Yeah, but I think I was just saying, like, that kind of thing is so cool. Like, the kids not only are in the big church, they're getting involved in the things, and they're like, it's just really cool to see.
Yeah, no, so it's a neat kids revival for us, and ours is coming up soon. And this isn't something that's super relevant to our Sunday school program as a whole, but it is February 22nd. We had our first meeting of the curriculum team. And so at this time it was, oh man, please don't let me forget anybody. Pelletiers from Oklahoma City, the Hammonds from Fort Myers, Florida, Danielle Parker. No, Danielle wasn't even in yet. No, I don't think they were in yet. Gabe Baker, Shahilis Washington, Kim Ramos, Bree Hinckley, and myself from here from Rialto. I know there's more. No, maybe that was it. That might have been it. No, Jillian and they're the Hammonds. That might have been everybody at the beginning. But out of their own pocket, they flew themselves to Dallas, Texas, to meet in person because we knew this is something to kick it off right. We needed to hash this out for a couple days and figure this out because over the phone and Zoom, it's just not the same. So we flew in. Sister Pelletier mainly got the hotel picked out with conference rooms that they gave us to use. We had whiteboards and projectors. We hardly use any of it, but we sat around. It was perfect to kick this thing off. And so because of their investment, flying out there and meeting, we actually kicked this thing off.
That's really cool.
So February 22nd was the first meeting of the curriculum team. And as of now, we have 2 full quarters released. They're selling on Amazon.
So awesome.
Yeah. In fact, I think we have sold. I have an indie. Man, this is worth pulling up. Go ahead, fill in some time while I put
Okay, but I think it's just really cool that like so many people were so invested. Oh, that was quick. I think it's
So we've sold 114 hard copies.
Awesome.
that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know how many churches that is, but probably at most they're going to buy 5.
Yeah.
At most. So, it's a lot of churches. That's not counting the 50 we sent to 12 test churches.
Yeah.
We're not counting those in that. So probably, let's call it 165, 170 hard copies, plus 12 digital copies, 18 church-wide digital versions. Anyway, so it's neat. So I don't know how many churches that is. My guess is around 50 to 60 apostolic churches now using the curriculum.
Wow.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, but what I was saying before was I think it's so cool that there's so many people who are willing to invest their time and their money and their just everything in creating a curriculum, like an apostolic curriculum that is easy to use for any size of church, any however many teachers you have, however many kids you have. I think it's just so cool that there's so many people who are so invested. Like not only the people who are actually doing it, but like their pastors that are willing, like they want their people to be involved in this.
Yeah. And it's not that the WPF didn't believe in it enough to finance it. It's just that this is a grassroots organization and the curriculum was as grassroots as it gets. Like there wasn't a committee built for it. There wasn't I guess we were kind of a sub under the educational committee. There was no budget. There was no money set aside. There was no income. There was nothing. Now there's some income coming in from the sale of the curriculum. But at that point, there was nothing. So these people knew going in that we're just winging it. And so they were willing to finance it out of their own pocket.
That's awesome.
That's really
That
cool.
says a lot about them.
Yeah.
And I got to meet some people that I like really, really look up to. The Pelletiers at that point, I had never seen them in person. I'd never met them. I mean, I had them on the podcast and met them, through emails and talking to them. But they are such great people. Now I count them as close friends. And we met when we were at Christmas. They drove down from Oklahoma City, and we got to eat dinner together and stuff. But
And that's a great segue because then all of us got to meet him at the Tournament Maestro Conference.
yep, and that would be the next thing. Although, do we?
Well, Easter.
No, Easter.
Easter, we didn't really do anything except for picking up bus kids. That never really did.
Yeah, we didn't do anything except for a massive drama and the whole
Listen, I'm saying
church flip over.
Sunday school did not do that.
Yes.
That's not specifically Sunday school.
It's not specifically Sunday school.
It is a lot of Sunday school people were heavily involved in it, but it wasn't a Sunday school like.
Yeah. And so we brought all the kids in, and they got to see the Easter drama, which is...
It was really cool that there were so many people that weren't even involved in kids ministry, not even involved in bus, were willing to sit with the kids to watch the kids.
I literally went through the entire church directory and was like, okay, they're not involved in Easter, and they're solid people.
These are saints for sure.
It was the most random
It really was. But
assortment of
great.
people that agreed to help. I think it was like, okay, and I just sent him a text. Hey, I know this is out of the blue, but would you be willing to chaperone, or not chaperone, but sit with the kids and just kind of spell it out? Almost without fail, every one of them said, "Yep, sign me up."
Easter was amazing, but it was a sad day for Orange Route. We lost Bree as our captain
That happened on Easter.
on Easter. She said that was our last Sunday.
Easter. They're on a bad day. No, I'm kidding. No, it does stink, but there's I can't say much because I pulled out. I don't remember when this year I stopped being a bus captain, but there comes a point where you just have to set a priority on things, and I it doesn't mean you can't be involved in both, but there's sometimes you just have to pick one and run with it. You just have to.
That makes sense.
All right, let's go to April.
The Children's
Go ahead
Ministry
and finish up.
Okay, so the Children's Ministry Conference was really cool. Of course, we've all met the Bradshaws. Well, not all of us, but most of us have met the Bradshaws through one thing or another.
I guess we need to tell what it is.
Oh, Children's Ministry Conference. It's a workshop.
Another SCC.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like a workshop for people to kind of fine tune their skills or learn more about Sunday school or bus or like administration stuff. Or it just kind of depends. Whatever you're looking for, there's something there for you.
We have about 25 different sessions.
Yeah. And
scattered into 3 different areas. So you have breakouts, you have general sessions. What are you doing?
I'm thinking about the next one coming up. I'm excited.
You can't jump that quick. You jumped to this one, and now you want to jump away from it.
No, I'm just saying. You brought it up, and so I was happy.
Anyway, so Children's Ministry Workshop, it really is somewhat unique in the apostolic movement right now, or at least in our area. There's really nothing like it. And so we'll fly in some really key speakers. If we know that really good people are already coming, we're going to say, hey, while you're here, would you teach a session for us? Which is how we got Gabe Baker and Chris Bradshaw.
Cool. Yeah. He was here 2 years ago, too. He's been here for like 2 years, right?
Gabe Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this would be his 4th year coming
Oh,
up.
it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while.
He's done like
Maybe
props.
3.
He's done like props. One's about like the Disneyland effect, the wow factor.
He's done
really
lots of
good.
things.
And then,
And they're all on YouTube.
yeah. It was
If you're curious.
really good.
Yeah, so we make this our main Inland Lighthouse training event. It's not optional. Like if you're part of our children's ministry, you have to go, or if you can't, like if something happens, but at least go through the videos and listen to them. If not, to me, that's a sign that you just don't care enough, because there is so much good information there, and to just not take advantage of that just shows that there's something missing.
Yeah,
It's like I really, really, really love church. I just don't attend the services. But I really, really like it. It's
I think
crazy.
honestly that Children's Ministry Conference, not only for the classes, but also like not even for like the individual classes, but the general sessions are some of the better things. Like obviously the individual classes are more like for skills and it kind of gets you in there, but like then the general sessions, I wasn't there on the Friday last year, but I was there on the Saturday. And just the general sessions, I think it was, who did it last year?
Your pastor.
Oh, I wasn't there on Friday. He did it on Friday. I wasn't there. I was in New York.
Well, he did an incredible
Yes, he did.
job. It's all about the children.
Well, I was saying who did it on Saturday because I was there for that one. Like
We do a bunch of them. So there was like a panel with Brother Pelletier, Bill
was a good
Bradshaw,
Yeah.
Brother Baker.
Brother Baker and Tyler, and they Tyler Hodge, Brother Hodge, and they all got together. No, I wasn't on that one. And they were just talking about how to keep excitement in the classroom. So we have a bunch of general sessions, and a lot of those are inspirational. Some are instructional. But then the breakout sessions, you get to choose what you're most focused on. We try to make a path for, if you're involved in bus ministry, there's a path for you. Then for Sunday school, and then there's a kind of a third one that's maybe both or one or the other, or might be
like general
administration.
admin type stuff.
Yeah, administration, there's only usually a couple. Like, there's not usually one every single. Like, sometimes it's like youth and then toddlers and then like bus or something like that.
Yep. So
And if you haven't really seen it, you owe it to yourself to go and check them out.
Like an adult VBS.
Very, very, I don't know. It helped me a lot just to learn from different people and different perspectives. So if you owe it to yourself to go check out the videos if you haven't.
Yeah, what you kind of mentioned about the teachers meetings, like getting new voices in there. It's not that you like intentionally are like, oh, I've heard you before, I'm just going to kind of tune you out, but hearing new perspectives of how
humanity.
Yeah.
how like
That's why our pastor brings in visiting ministers.
yeah.
Our pastor is phenomenal.
Amazing. 10 out of 10.
And this is, I'm just going to, okay, this is how you should feel about your pastor too. I feel like our pastor can out-preach anybody.
Amen.
But when people come, it's amazing how the church responds to another voice. And it's not that they don't respond to pastor too, but they can say the same thing that he said last week, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, that's a brilliant revelation. It's like, I've been preaching that for 4 years. And so sometimes that'll happen in children's ministry as well. You know, your Sunday school director has been saying something, or maybe the head teacher of the classroom has been trying to focus on something. And then one of the teachers goes to one of these sessions and comes back with this brilliant revelation. That's exactly what was told to them for the last 3 months.
Yeah. And especially with people who have like a similar, not similar to us, but like, yes, similar to us, but not just that, but like they do Sunday school on kind of a bigger scale. Like we have it every single Sunday. I know some churches have it like, they'll have it every Sunday, but it's more like they have smaller classrooms, that kind of thing. And that's good. But like hearing from people who also deal with the kind of problems we have to deal with, who deal with how many kids we have, how many, whatever. It's really cool being able to hear from people who experience, like, they're not just showing you all the, we had we had like 300 kids, we had 200 kids. You're hearing also we picked up 5 kids, but we can still get through it. And like they're showing you the good and the bad of Sunday school, and you're really learning from both.
Yep, and you're getting a lot of perspectives.
Yeah.
You're learning from some of the very best in children's ministry out there, and all their churches do stuff different. I love getting that perspective that you don't have to do it the same way, but you can still be effective.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And so, if you haven't come to that, this year is May 9th and 10th. It is the weekend before Mother's Day, and I'm not happy that was the only thing available, but it was the only thing available. So that's why it's on that one. Next year it won't be, but we are having it here in the Lily House.
Right.
It's been in Redlands every year, and they've been very good to us. It's been a great hosting church, but we're going to have it here moving forward, and hopefully we can really do some things we haven't been able to just because of the different settings. So we'll kind of release those details soon.
Yeah. After that, after we did the children's ministry workshop, a lot of the people stayed over.
Yep.
And we had a Holy Ghost rally on that Sunday, the next day. And we also had some people stayed for bus. Was this the year the lads stayed?
We had the lads, we had the Leals, we had the Pelletiers and the Bradshaws. I say Pelletiers, Brother Pelletier, Sister Pelletier. Next time, please come with your husband. Please. We really want you here.
Yes, I think Brother Leal, I think, was the one who rode on our bus, and we had him and I think 1 or 2 of his kids. It was so cool. The kids, like at first they were like, "Who in the world is this?" But by the end of it, they were like totally in it. They loved it.
Yeah, and so we did a Holy Ghost rally, but this one was a little bit different because we wanted to make it more Sunday school style because we had 2 like Sunday school gurus with us. We had more than that. We had a bunch, but we couldn't have every one of them, help with us. So Brother Pelletier and Brother Bradshaw helped us with that, but we had it all in the fellowship hall, and we had 200 and
So many.
I don't remember.
There was a lot
Pretty packed in there.
It was full. The fellowship hall was packed. We had chairs all the way back onto the kitchen side.
There was so many people. Like usually we have it seems full, but we had 3 sections packed out. Almost every chair was full. All the way farther back, we used a bunch of white chairs that we usually don't have to use them. It was so full, but it was so cool. Just the energy in the room was so cool. It was amazing.
Yeah, and so Brother Pelletier did his Egbert lesson with the hammer smashing all the eggs, and then Brother Bradshaw finished it up, and just a great day. And we are going to be, I don't know if this year, if we can pull it off, but we want to this people staying over on the Sunday to be a thing where all the attendees are welcome to come join us and ride our buses and be in the classroom. And you want to help teach and lead the songs. We want them to be a part. But you have to let us know ahead of time so we can get all that orchestrated. Because that's what they used to do at Baton Rouge for Commit Conference.
Oh, yeah.
You would ride their buses, go with them on outreach.
It was really cool. They would have you,
classes.
you would pick a number, and that would be the bus you would go on.
Oh.
It was really cool. And so I want to do a modified version of that. Again, this year might be tough to pull off on the first year. We might just want to get things figured out on our property, and then next year go for that. But I think that's going to be a neat addition.
And I know some people stay over regardless, even if it's just like one or two of them, even if it's not their whole church, but it's really cool.
Yep. And then May, we just had our standard Sunday school classes. We didn't have any big events, so let's move to June, which is our junior camp. And junior camp, children's ministry, how do those things have anything in common?
Junior camp was the best ever, we've had so far.
Brother Danny, we missed you for sure.
There was a lot of people that were missed this year.
But I was kidding when I said junior camp. How does it have anything to do with children's ministry? It's all about kids, and it's all about ministry to kids. Yeah. And the best counselors and the best staff are those with children's ministry backgrounds.
Yeah.
And this year, I can honestly say it was some of the most powerful services of all time of junior camp. And I had several people say this, and for me, it's true up to a point. Some of the most powerful services they've ever been in were up at junior camp with kids.
And it wasn't even just the kids being affected this year.
Yeah, a lot of the counselors and junior counselors. Yes.
There was like a couple, I think it was the second night. Was it second night? That all the they had like a bunch of junior counselors and like younger counselors were just in the, we're just standing in the altar just praying. And he was like, brother, I think it was Brother Dylan that told me, he's like, you guys need to get up here. And we were, and then we even had like a meeting with him afterwards. It was
incredible. It really was. Brother Baker was our speaker, and he did a great job. We got to do a lot of skits and fun stuff with him, especially on the day services. I tried, night services, leave him alone because he's got to concentrate on that. But during the day services, I asked him ahead of time if he was up to it. Me and him were the bumbling detectives. Oh, yeah. I was more bumbling than he. And we were trying to solve different cases because the overarching theme of the camp was searching for truth. Oh, that was such a fun camp.
It was. We had these gold bars that there was clues. There was 3 a day, and you had clues.
We've never done anything like this before. These side quests to camp.
So
we started that this year.
So you had to go. The kids had to go find the counselor that had the specific clue, and then
we would give a clue in the morning service.
Yeah.
We would give a clue to a random staff, and they had to go find them.
The kids they would find you within the first 10 minutes.
They'd ask everybody, and then we'd have a third clue that we would post on a wall or something in the afternoon, or
after lunch.
I can't remember exactly how it happened, but they were cryptic. I mean, I wanted, you figure you have 150 kids, savages, tearing the camp apart. They're going to find it. And so I had to, some of them literally I dug a hole.
Yeah, we buried it under a log.
Oh, wow.
There was one under a tree.
Buried one inside a piano. You can't see it. You had to, literally lift up stuff inside the piano. But the clues would get you there. But they were really hard to figure out on purpose. And they rhymed. They're like these cute little rhymes.
They vaguely got more specific. They got vaguely more specific. They would find 4 in a day or 5 in a day. And there was only 3.
I made them where you absolutely could not oops on one. And they still found them. Not a lot. I think there was only one that they oopsed on.
Yeah, there was some found under an AC unit. There was some under trees in a log.
I had them so buried, and somehow they just lucked upon them. In a 400-acre.
There was one. It was hidden in the ground. and there was supposed to be a flag by it, so you would look for the flag. The flag got moved. The kids literally scoured the entire ground.
I couldn't find it, and I hid it. And I put the flag there. It was like one of those surveyor flags. Yeah. Well, the kids were tearing apart the whole place, and so they saw the flag and just picked it up and walked off with it. So there was no indication where I buried it.
There was, I think it was Avalon and Dawson were just tearing the ground apart. They were looking over every square inch of the place.
It really did add a whole neat element to it.
And there was rocks hidden around.
Oh, yeah, painted rocks. Sister D. Ford, that was her brainchild.
She like hid rocks around. You had to find them. There was like a bunch every single day.
With Bible verses written on them.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing to
really
maybe this year coming up kind of
Yeah.
incorporate something like that similar.
It was so cool.
Whatever
It was
your
a
name
lot
is.
of fun.
When they found one of the gold bars especially, you would hear a shriek.
A kid would
And
scream.
everybody would know one just got found.
And then
And
you
you would play it up. We get the bullhorn, take their picture. I mean, it was a
and the
big
kids
deal.
around them were like, "Oh, man."
Call them up at the night service, and yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was really cool. But even like, okay, Brother Baker's ideas for the morning services.
He's funny.
They were so cool. The last morning service was the one that a bunch of us, like the counselors, got involved in. It was so cool. It was an Esther. It was Esther skit, but he just basically gave it to us and was like, "We'll run through a couple scenes," and we got through like 3 scenes in practice. And
That's how they do it at their church.
yeah, we ran through like 3 scenes in practice, and he was
First
like,
time I was up there, they were running through it like that, and it was like, "When are we going to practice?" He's like, "We just did." I was like, "Oh."
we ran through like 3 scenes, and he was like, "Great, let's go." And we were like, well, "Wait, where?"
But they pulled it off. They do a great job.
It was fun.
And so then up at camp, and we got to see how he put stuff together, and it was a lot of fun. So it was powerful. It was literally everybody but one or two kids got the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Like every single kid got
think we
the
had,
Holy
like,
Ghost that didn't have it except for 2.
I think we had like 15, like 13, or like 14,
something-
like 12, or something like that.
There was just none available. It was like, when Elisha told the widow woman, I'll bring all the vessels and you can fill them with oil. It was like, if you want more kids to get the Holy Ghost, you need more kids that need it there. So it was pretty
It
exciting.
was a lot of fun.
And he did that with a broken arm.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, he had like a whole thing, like in a like.
He jacked up his knee, his
metal thing.
elbow.
Yeah, it looked like one of those big giant knee braces, but it was on his arm.
Cyborg.
It was really cool. VBS is the next thing. I loved VBS this
Are we
year.
done with
That was
junior
June.
Yes. Okay, so let's go to July.
VBS was one of the funnest ones. But okay, besides
What
the
did we
first
do
year.
this year?
You had it in here.
No, we had it in the
So-
classroom.
Outback.
Outback.
Outback, that's right.
So we usually have it in like a smaller class, and we can work
Are
with
you
it.
talking about the Bible room?
Yes.
Hey, real quick. This is rolling. There's a bigger house. She's
That's the only part that I
narrowly focused on the Bible room.
because we're literally in there all night.
Yeah, Sister Alex Flores always does an incredible job with our vacation Bible school. And this year, she was having a baby, and she has a lot of additional responsibilities. She just was not able to pull it off. And so it got put to the children ministry department, and it was the week after peak, I believe. Yeah. And so peak for us is a whirlwind. It's a little bit less because I've handed it off to Brother Mercer, but I'm still there for the week before and heavily involved with the Bible quizzing. So I knew there was no way I could pull this off by myself. Not by myself, I'm sorry, but leading it. I couldn't even lead it effectively. Thank God for Sister Leah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't just help. She ran the whole thing. Like, she ran with it and did a fabulous job. Thank you. If you're listening to this, Sister Leah, your contribution is not
We
a
love you.
We could
You're
not have done
amazing.
it without you.
Yes.
So that was a really cool event. We have, of course, the rotations, the different areas. Raylan, I think, was over the crafts.
Yes.
Brella was
Her-
over the food.
yeah.
There was a crew. I think Brother Julian and Co. Was Julian in the Bible room? over there?
Not. Well,
He was only there
only for I think
The
1 or 2
yeah.
days. One,
He wasn't
maybe
there
one
every
day.
night. It was
It was me.
Brother Danny, Bree, Jared, Sarah Torado, and Sister Kim. Was she in there?
Yes.
I think she was in there, but I don't know if she was like
They hauled out
actively
the
in it.
dead body. Oh my word! Hey, you guys.
That was the day.
That wasn't our idea.
I remember looking at you going, "They're not." They're not doing it. This is a joke. This has to be
All
a
I did was
joke.
throw like little firecrackers at the ground. But moving on, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Usually we do.
So they told the story, and I'm not going to go into it, but at the end or halfway through, I'm out there just watching with the kids. I hadn't been involved with this part. And they carried out a trash bag covered, duct tape wrapped body.
It was that you were meeting people. So it was like the traveler was walking through the cave, and they were meeting all these different people, and they met these two like really shady people.
That just have to be in a cave.
And they had me throw these. They're like poppets, but like insane, like throwable firecrackers. And so they had me throw them at this cardboard box, and then they would like drag out this suspiciously looking duct taped thing.
That was not the wisest choice.
Yes, but we learned from our
Where that idea
mistakes.
came from, but yeah.
But we usually do it
did a
in
great
like
job,
a
by the way.
small little classroom that we can work with because we have another classroom attached to it that we can use as kind of a backstage. But this year, we ended up using our bigger high school classroom that we have like air conditioning. Thank the Lord, because it's always super hot. But we get the air conditioning. We were able to set up a curtain to use backstage. We had a lot more room to work with.
It was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. I think we did the story of David. We did the story of, well, what were we teaching with the
dead body.
The cave.
The story of the dead body.
Oh, it was the resurrection. That was the last night. The death, burial, and
You
resurrection.
did not raise that body from the
No,
dead.
no. The last night we did Last night we did death, burial, and resurrection.
It's okay. We don't have to go through it. But we had
was
the
a
Bibles,
lot of fun.
the Bible room, the games, the food, the crafts, the outside kneading area.
Yeah.
Songs.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They did a great job.
Who was
This
on the
year,
songs?
we're going to be doing
Greg.
a few things different. Not a lot,
Why?
but a little bit. We're still kind of working our way through it. But I have some ideas from different, because I've done VBSs. I've done the speaking side at a bunch of VBSs for different churches, and I want to pull some of their ideas. So they have some pretty cool stuff.
Nice. That's cool.
I'm trying to save up to go to Jordan to do their, well, not to do, but just to go hang out with them for their VBS.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's really cool. All right, and then we went to Summit. So we're just kind of glossing
Summit
over
was
August.
amazing.
August was a great month, but there was no one big event. So, well, the big event was in September, but basically the hard work is done
We were prepping
all of August.
You're like getting scripts together, getting costumes.
So Summit is our Kingdom Kids conference.
Well, not
It-
anymore.
Hold on. It's in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's a gathering of the WPF. They come there for a big conference. And back in 2016, it was recommended by Phil Endress to create a children's service. And so there was a group of us, me, Tyler Hodge, Brother Uzzle, Sister Spell, and Phil Endress. And we came up with the idea of this children's conference. And it's grown from there every year. It's got bigger and bigger. It was the Kingdom, the Castle, Brother Worthen and his team made
Yes, but the words for their
wonderful
past.
castle.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're building that castle to that scale and that level. It set the tone
It did.
for the entire Kingdom Kids Conference,
Yeah.
and so many people have gathered inspiration. We built that same castle twice here.
Yeah.
Two different times. Back in 2016, we came home and did it, and then we did it last year.
Yeah, it was.
So talk about an impact.
Yeah,
And if they had just thrown something shoddy together, honestly, it would be another meh conference.
Obviously the first couple years from 2016 to I think 2019, I was like just going to the conference as a kid doing it, and it was my favorite time of the year. It was amazing. It was always super cool. And then
The neat thing to me is, those conferences are really exciting. The parents love them. It's a neat time of refreshing and stuff. But the kids are like dragged along.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to go. Can I just stay in the cabin and have fun? Can I go swimming?
Yeah, that's like their
Dollywood. We don't want to go.
vacation.
They don't want to go. I don't mean this bad, but the services are something that they want to sleep under the pew for. Okay. Until Kingdom Kids.
yeah,
We have so many parents telling us our kids are asking all year long, when is Kingdom First? Is it here yet? It's like it's Christmas for them. They're so excited. And then they're at the cabin getting ready for service, and the kid's like, Mom, don't make us late. Gotta be on time. We gotta be there early because I want to be in the right section. I want to sit with my friends.
I even see that with because we stay in a big cabin with all of the Booker family, and I'll just hear them like, "Okay, can I go get ready for Kingdom Kids? Are we gonna be in time? You're not gonna make us late, right? I need front seats." I'm like, okay.
And Mom, if you're gonna be late, I'm gonna ride with somebody else because we cannot be late.
Yes.
And parents love being in there too.
And honestly, we leave like hours early, and they're like, oh, "Okay, we need to start getting ready for it." And I'm like, "You guys are good."
So it's a kids service, and it's a 3-night deal. So it's Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and it's I don't even know how to guess how many churches are involved as far as volunteers.
Yeah.
Probably at least I would say 10, maybe more of churches that have volunteers there putting it on. From the Man-Warrens that run the sound to Brother Hodge, it's always heavily involved, except for last year, unfortunately. The Bradshaws from Union City, Tennessee, us from Rialto, the Leals from Neosho,
Brother Stender.
Brother Stender was there.
the Breedens from Preston.
Yeah.
All these people are so talented.
Yes.
They're literally the cream of the crop. Again, all these people pay their own way to get there. They're paying their travel. They're paying their hotel. They're paying their food.
Yeah.
This is a big commitment, and they do it so they can be a part of something like this.
And Summit is always, it's so cool. And even seeing like people who, like, I think it was Caleb Winkler. It was his first time helping, right?
Yeah, it was
him. And there was a lot of kids who they're like, this is their first year helping. They're so excited. Yeah, they agree. He was like, they were all so excited to be able to finally help with it.
They had been in it since, the first year they were allowed to come. And so, they grew up in this. Yeah. And now they're turning 13. They're like, please, can we come? Like, we don't want to miss it. And so the parents would reach out, hey, do you think they could help? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. And they turned out to be some of the best help because they're so excited to be there. Yeah. And so we have them in what could be overlooked as I understand how I'm saying this, not important position, like a section leader.
Yeah.
They turned that into a rock star role.
It was really cool.
Caleb Winkler especially, I say especially because he was in my section, so I was the yellow cowboy.
Yeah.
And so he was a yellow section leader, and he was so upbeat and excited and pumped up that.
Wasn't it with his with Randall? Wasn't Randall with?
Yes, yellow. Was he?
Yeah. Because they were both. Because that section, their kids were like so excited, and they like really got the kids like really excited for it.
So it's a really fun event, and I'm recommending if you're listening to this and you're apostolic and your pastor's behind it and allows you to come. If you want to not just be a part of a neat children's ministry service setting, but you also want to connect with literally, I'm telling you, the best of the best in children's ministry, that's where you need to go.
Yes. I met fantastic people.
Brother Danny, he came.
The Ashleys.
Brother Ashley. I stayed with Brother Ashley.
Brother Ashley is the ultimate for this new set, which we'll talk about in a second. But all these people, they come and they bring their perspectives and their input on the scripts and their object lessons and their songs. And we get to see this melding of something that's better than any of us could do by ourselves.
That's right.
Which is what we're trying to do with the curriculum too. We're trying to make it better than any one church could ever produce on their own. So that's what this service ends up being. And so this year, I guess 2 years ago, Brother Worthen told me the castle, it's not going to last much longer because they had made it out of foam. They did a great job. It had lasted since 2016. Here it is 2022 or 23 at the time. And he said, I don't know. He said, I can maybe patch it together for one more year, but that's all we got.
Yeah.
So this was in the beginning of 23 when he told me this. I said, okay, how much is it going to cost? So he said, well, let me do some math. And so he went and started doing, he said, well, if we build the same castle, we built it for this amount. Anyway, bottom line is, say it was like $8,000 to recreate that. He said, but I think we need to or I think it was like 6,000. He said, with inflation, everything, and I think we need to make it into a much sturdier set that's going to last longer, hold up. And I said, well, do you think we could add a second floor?
Oh yeah.
Like some, just kind of give it a new dimension, right? Where people are coming out of areas that the kids aren't used to seeing. And he said, oh my goodness, okay, let's call it 8,000.
Okay.
So, and then we started thinking about what we want it to be, what set. And so I reached out to some of the main players and just said, guys, what do you think? Do we keep the castle? Because the castle was the only thing the kids had ever known. Yeah. And if you change it, you're going to rip the hearts out of these kids.
Yeah.
It sounds dumb, but these kids who identify with
that's Kingdom Kids.
Knights, that's why it's called Kingdom Kids. And so, or do we take this once in an 8-year opportunity to make a new set, come up with new characters, freshen it up, and really get out of the box? And so it took us a long time, but we finally let's bite the bullet. Let's change it.
I think that one, because I think you asked me like, what would you think? And
I asked a bunch of people. I didn't want to make a wrong decision.
It was like a really
actually. I want more people to blame.
I asked a lot of people, but I remember it was like it was a bittersweet thing when you guys finally decided, because I was like, Kingdom Kids is not only what I've done like helping, but it's like that was what I went to as a kid. It's been Kingdom Kids. Like, how can you change Kingdom Kids?
The cool thing about the Kingdom is you can do so many different stories on the same stage, so many different scenarios. And we wanted to come up with something else that was along those lines that you're not boxed in. So say you did something like space. It's amazing for 1 year.
Yeah.
How do you go a different, what does it go year 2, especially year 6?
The Kingdom, we added a pirate ship one time. We added a whole bunch of stuff that
So we ended up going with Western, and we called it Country Kids Conference.
It's amazing.
And Brother Worthen,
above and beyond.
Wow.
Everything.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So how did it get funded, right? It was $1,000. How do we come up with that amount? And really there's no budget for that conference besides pastors just saying, I'll help offset that cost.
Yeah.
And so we were at the WPF council last January, and we brought that up. I said, this is where we're at. The castle's not going to last. We need to come up with something else. And someone said, how much will it cost? And I was like, oh, God, here it goes. I don't want to say this number. So I told him it's going to be about $8,000 to do it right, to do it well, and where it's going to last. And I'm not lying, within 60 seconds, $10,000 was raised.
Oh, that's incredible.
Within 60 seconds. Pastor's going, I'll pay $1,000, I'll do $1,000, I'll do $5,000. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
And we had it right away. And so we were able to build it. And Brother Worthen pulled up with a first-class, mind-blowing set.
Like, when it's all being brought in, you're like, oh, that's really cool. But, like, you can't see the vision yet. When it was all put together, you see the second floor, you see all the different businesses.
I think we need to start even sooner because we couldn't go inside, so we started in the foyer, right?
Yeah.
So we set that there. And I remember seeing, like our brother Bradshaw said on his podcast, we saw the lobby getting set up, and it was like,
how are we going to match this inside?
Well, there's nothing left to set up inside, surely.
Yeah.
And we just set this incredible set.
There was two little things where you could there was
church.
Yeah, there was one of the check-ins. They had batwing doors where you could hold them up. They come open. They all had the doors, and you're like, this is just for how do we match this inside?
Then they started setting up inside,
and it was
mind blowing. Yes, they had this incredible scaffolding. I've never even seen this.
Yeah.
It had these arms with the angle out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so the second floor was built out like a balcony in front of it. It was so well done.
It was
so
really
good.
cool having there was under the scaffolding was a little area where you could be, but then also there was underneath just the balcony, but then there was still more room in front, and just there was so many was of it. It was so cool.
All the doors worked. The jail to get inside. The hotel, I think it was. The store.
There was a hotel. There was a store on the very edge.
Yeah.
Plus, we had the little evil guy's little lair thing that was super cool. It was
first class.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was honestly a little bit worried about some of the kids' reactions, but I was glad they were prepared for it, because there was so much like building up to Kingdom Kids with everyone sending in their promo
we did
videos.
pretty good with the Instagram marketing, so there were no surprises.
So the kids were walking in and being like expecting a kingdom, and like, what in the world?
Yep.
But I think I had a lot of kids where they were like, "Is it really not Kingdom Kids anymore? Is it really not?" But then afterwards they were like, "This was
that's awesome.
so cool."
We had so many parents come in and said, "I never dreamed you could outdo the castle."
Yeah.
But then I saw this, and you guys have taken it next level. You guys being Brother Wood, Brother Kelly Bass. And honestly, there was a lot of men from his church that are kind of the unsung heroes that have worked hundreds of hours, and they're not getting the recognition. I wish we could. But anyway, just know that Murfreesboro, Illinois Church,
Yes.
you people have outdone yourself, and we are eternally
Amazing.
grateful.
It was you guys.
They not only built it,
incredible.
they store it.
Yeah.
Just imagine all of that being stored. Where would we put it?
Right.
We even renting a unit. I can't imagine a storage place big enough for all that.
Yeah, there were so many pieces. It filled up a whole trailer.
So they store it. They put it in the trailer. They bring it. They set it up. They tear it down. They bring it back home and store it for the next year. And I that level of commitment for the last since 2016 they've been doing that.
Yes.
That my hat is off to you. You are just
incredible.
special, incredible people.
Yeah.
Yes, but also in September there was some other stuff that
We
happened.
released the quarter one at Summit. Yeah. So we didn't release it necessarily. We had it printed and in hand, and we presented it to the WPF as a whole and said, okay, this is our work from February to September. This is what we come up with. How does it look? And it was very well received. Everybody liked it. And we had printed off about 50 copies. We were able to let everybody take a peek. Then we got them back and handed those 50 out to 12 different testing churches. And they started teaching it. And we did it as well. I don't remember. I think we started September 22nd.
Yeah, that's what you said.
So September 22nd, we started teaching it. And I was telling Trystan, it's interesting that 3-month, this is in heavy air quotes, 3-month curriculum, right? 13 lessons. We're going to be teaching it for almost 5 because we started in September. So October, November, December, January, we're still going. And it's going to go till February because there's so many off Sundays. You have your holidays, you have your family days, you have your Holy Ghost rallies. There's just stuff that comes up. And the cool thing is we're encouraging people, do not skip a lesson. Don't say, well, I missed lesson 12, so I'm going to pick up on lesson 13 next week. No, teach lesson 12 when you come back. They're not date specific. It doesn't matter when you teach it. And so the cool thing is we came back after a 2-week break after Christmas, and we had a birthday party for Jesus, and then we had like a New Year's resolution, not New Year's resolution, but talking about the new year on December 29th.
Because that was an extra Sunday. That
2 back-to-back Sundays, we would teach it.
Yeah.
Well, come January, we jumped right back in and picked up on lesson 8.
Also, I think another thing that's going to really stretch it is the holiday packet, because on all the holidays, you can use those, and then you have more Sundays to fill in the rest.
Yep. So January 1st, whatever that next Sunday is, you could use that lesson.
Yeah.
On February 14th, you could use the Valentine lesson. On July 4th, the 4th of July lesson, or whatever
Easter,
Sunday is closest to that.
Easter, 4th of July.
That's 9 different lessons, and
Christmas.
Spread it out. So this 3-year curriculum is really probably closer to 4, probably longer.
Oh, yeah. This one took us 5.
That's a.
And that's only a quarter of 1 year.
And it's fantastic. If you guys haven't seen it,
It's top quality. They all did amazing.
It's the craziest thing is how much it's changed. So since that first printing, I forgot how much work we've done. Every single lesson since then, you guys probably don't even have this in your books. We've added a craft and a snack to every single one. We've added the time under the heading. Some people were saying, well, that's nice that you have the lesson layout that says it's 8 minutes for the lesson. But once I get to the lesson, I have to go refer back.
You have to see how long it takes.
And so on every header, I put how long it should take.
Didn't you guys
If it's core, I put a little star next to it. If like you shouldn't skip this.
Yeah. Like there's some things that are optional.
We've added like your dramatic Moses and the 10 Commandments. We added that into the curriculum. Scannable QR code. I did it for probably 4 or 5 different lessons. If we came up with a cool idea for it, I added it back into that book. And now when you order it from Amazon, you get that. But I also went and emailed I did this yesterday. Every single person that ordered the digital copy of the Q1, I sent them out a new one, an updated new version.
Oh, that's really cool.
Because it doesn't cost us anything. I can't send you out a new book. I'm sorry. That would cost a whole lot. Yeah. But I did update. So every time I make a change, I update Amazon too. So when you order, you get the current version. Okay. So like, I actually have versioning now. It's 3.3. And so when you look in the front cover at the very bottom, it'll say the year and month of the recent revision plus the version number. Well, so like right now we're in 3.3, and if you open yours and you see maybe no version number, that's version 1. And if you see, like it says 1 point something, 2 point something. So I did 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, and right now we're on 3.3.
So is it just like for every, like, is it like for the 1, 2, 3, is that just like if you guys change it significantly?
No, okay, so the 1, 2, and 3 is a significant change. Like when we added all the crafts and lessons, I went from like version 2 to version 3. On version like 3.2 to 3.3, what I did is on the lesson layout, we had forgot to add the craft and snack into the snapshot.
The outline?
Yeah, the outline. And so I went and added all those. Well, I wanted to remember when I did that, so I made it version 3.3. So I know that's slight.
So just a slight change versus a significant
any change
difference.
that I send out to Amazon, I put a point.
Okay, that makes sense. And then September 29th.
Oh, I'm only saying this because I got to go to the Pelletiers Church, and I got to spend time with them outside of the Children's Ministry Workshop at their place and get to see kind of how they run stuff. It was so cool. It's one thing to know somebody, but then to see them in their environment where they're most comfortable. They are the coolest people. They are so neat.
Now, is their church, okay, so I've been to one in Oklahoma City, but I don't know if it's the same church. Is it the one with the baptism that's kind of like up in the back?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Up top.
Yes.
Real high.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, Brother Pelletier, if you're listening to this, you can correct me. But they did like some sort of children's revival with like a river waterfall coming out of the baptistry, a faith river, but like flowing out of that. But yeah,
really
it's pretty high. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
What a trip.
That's really cool.
And so they did the mad scientist and James Pelletier. He's a nut. He was, oh, brother, I wish I remember your name. He had the stage name like something kaboom. That was his favorite phrase. Make it kaboom. He wanted everything to kaboom. But, he was so much fun. His brother Kaboom. Yeah, brother Kaboom. And if you're even in the children's ministry chat, like he's funny. He just, everything he says just has a funny thing. Like his wife, Sister Kim Pelletier, posted yesterday, I think. She said, hey, I just heard Fan Davidosi for the first time. What an awesome song. I love it. And Brother Pelletier follows it up with, yeah, I put that in the middle of a puppet show in the curriculum. Ha, ha, ha. I guess I forgot to tell my wife. And then he writes like, communication is the key to a happy marriage. They're awesome people.
That's funny.
We better move. Man, we're almost.
Next was Harvest.
We're in our
Harvest Fest. Harvest Fest is, like, honestly, it's not all of it is children's ministry. We do have like the Sunday school stage, but a lot of our people are involved in
the reason
so many
I put
things.
that on this list is what more outreach could we do for kids than this Harvest Fest?
Yeah.
Literally. Parents that don't have kids don't show up. I mean, if you do, you're kind of an odd person to do that. You can come in, Brother Brown. It don't matter. So this is a raw and unedited podcast. We have Brother Carl Brown just walked in. And so the Harvest Fest has turned into an outreach tool to reach our community and people that bring their kids. We have a Sunday school stage, and we want them to know what we do every week in our Sunday school classes. Yes. So we teach lessons. We don't pull punches. Like we're not just doing magic tricks. We're not just doing science experiments. We're teaching one God, apostolic, Holy Ghost lessons on the Sunday school stage in a fun, exciting way that people don't even realize that at the end they're about to get punched in the mouth with truth. It's awesome. I love it. So you have people like, that was awesome. Oh wow.
Yeah, there was a couple.
That was aimed at me.
There was a couple with like where we do like the addition one, And he would be like, I want the most skeptical person. He's like, and like these ladies would be like me. And so he would like give them their things and they would be like, and for all you that were skeptical, and he would like talk about how God knows everything. And they were like,
no, it worked out really well. But it's a neat way to connect with our community.
Yeah.
Of course, the kids get lots of candy, which makes them super excited. But we're also handing out flyers and animal balloons. I think they gave out 700 balloons or something.
yeah. We have our bus map out,
Yep.
with like color-coded areas for where each bus route goes.
Yeah, we have over 3,000 people that come to this event, or right at 3,000. What was it? 29 and some change?
Something to shout. Yeah.
I can't remember. Right at 3. And it got to the point where we don't advertise, we don't market. The only thing we do is post it on the fence because we already are maxed out.
Do we still have the billboards?
Oh, the billboard. I think I've seen it.
We don't even have the billboards?
We didn't at the time, so we actually quit doing it. And then the billboard company reached out to us a month ago and said, "Hey, we have a spot that we're trying to fill temporarily. Would you guys like it for 3 months at half the price that you were paying?" So we're like, "Sign us up!"
Wow.
Cool thing about those, they're digital, so I can update it today. Like I just send it to them and it's up right away.
that's
It's not
really
like someone goes out there with a roller and a glue.
Right. Wow.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So Harvest is a big outreach for us. We always have people that come back for Sunday school and church afterward. So it's a neat tool. Then the rest is all just holiday stuff. Thanksgiving. I put that in there just because it's so out of the box for us. Our big Thanksgiving dinner. You guys,
Like VBS style.
I don't think we have to go into it too deep
Because we did a whole
we just
podcast
did
on
a
it.
podcast on it.
Yeah.
And the
Same with Christmas. Me, Bree, and Natalia just did a whole podcast on that.
Yeah. So that's our end of the year. That's the big stuff that happened this year. And like Brother Julian said when he came in, we're excited about what God did, but 2025, we're excited about that. And at the very end of the year of 2024, we released on Amazon Q1. I know we said we released it in September. That was only to testing churches. And then mid-December, we released Q1. And then Q2 just came out on, I put here just December 31st because people didn't know it, but it actually was out a day early. Because it's impossible to time. Like you can tell Amazon release it on January 1st, but you can only do that a certain distance out from that date. Well, when I tried to do it, it was like December 29th. And I'm like, okay, let's release it on January 1st. So like, that's too close. So you have to do it by hand. You have to say, schedule it to release whenever.
Oh, okay.
It comes out. So that process is a lot of fun. Ugh.
Sounds like it.
Not at all. You've done it.
Yeah.
It's a pain.
Yeah.
So you got to jump through all these hoops. And like the first time we released the curriculum on Amazon, they like gave us a big thumbs up. No changes needed. Everything's perfect. Well, I made a couple minor changes, like words, like little words here and there, and sent the second version. They're like, "Oh, this thing is horrible. Like you guys have to make all these changes." I'm like, "It's the same file." And I had to change everything.
Tried
All
putting it
the
on
page
Kindle,
numbers.
and Kindle just messed everything up. It was so weird.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. But for now, we're just going to do hard copies and digital copies on apostolic or axcurriculum.com. All right. Well, I think we've got through the year, and I don't want to get on anything else. We're already deep into the weeds on this thing. So if you guys have any ideas on what you think we should concentrate on going into 2025, send us an email to info@apostolicsundaySchool.com. And you can go to apostolicchildrensministry.com right now. You will see the Genesis audiobooks that Brother Danny did all the music for. It's for sale there. By the way, it's on Barnes & Noble audiobook platform.
Really?
It's on Walmart's Kobo. And it's on some other one.
That's so cool.
And hopefully it'll be on Audible soon, but I still have to jump through there.
Oh, that's a lot of hoops.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Yes, I know.
And I've already done the first 2 chapters of Acts.
That's so cool. I didn't know you were going to Acts next. That's really cool.
Well, we did a poll on the Children's Ministry chat and said, I think we said it's Exodus, Matthew, which is, the New Testament, Pauline epistles, Acts, or you tell me.
You said Judges.
Oh, Judges, because it's just such a weird book.
I'm surprised. I'm not surprised Acts got picked.
And so Acts ran away with it. It wasn't even close. So we're on chapter 2.
Can't wait to do
It is a little bit different because it's not as story-based. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Not like Genesis. Genesis is just story.
Yeah.
Acts has like Acts chapter 2, Peter, 3/4 of chapter 2 is Peter talking.
Right.
How do you turn that into a story form?
Right.
but I don't want to leave it out.
Yeah.
And so that's been a challenge. So I'm trying to
That
like.
makes sense.
I can't wait to hear.
Me too. I already did it, but I think I'm gonna have to change up chapter 2 a little
Makes
bit.
sense.
But anyway, so that's available. Also in Apostolic Children's Ministry is all the hoodies, and I don't have all the sweatshirts up there yet. But I put them on that platform rather than just the other one. So
They're super.
And so if you guys are wondering why do you guys sell this stuff, it's because the websites cost $200 or $300 a year. This podcast costs $10 a month.
Yeah.
All that stuff, and we're not trying to make anything. We're trying to pay those bills. That's all we use this for. So we're not trying to make diddly squat. Anyway, God bless you all. We love you, and hopefully we will see you next time. God bless. Bye.